I recently came across this passage. Power's crucial foundation is the ability to master your emotions. An emotional response to a situation is the single greatest barrier to power. A mistake that will cost you a lot more than any temporary satisfaction you might gain by expressing your feelings. Emotions cloud reason, and if you cannot see the situation clearly, you cannot prepare for and respond to it with any degree of control. It is from the preface of New York Times bestseller book, The 48 Laws of Power. The book provides guidance for how to gain power over your affairs, events, and yourself. This reminds me of my favorite cartoon character, Bugs Bunny.
What's cooking? What's up, Doc?
No matter the danger he is in or the stress he faces, he remains calm with a clear mind that helps him get out of it. Bugs Bunny is characterized as being clever and capable of outsmarting anyone who antagonizes him. He always wins the conflict, but does he reflect a real-life personality? A similar character would be James Bond, my grown-up hero, the perfect rational thinking fellow that always gets its reaction correctly. Like Bugs Bunny, he always wins the conflict. But are emotions really a barrier to power? Do they weaken us and reveal our vulnerability to others? Are we more powerful and in control if we repress our feelings? Would it lead us to power? Changing distressing emotional responses is the reason why millions of people visit psychotherapists, join counseling groups, or attend emotional intelligence training. They want to better control their emotions, maintain a clear mind and rational thinking to stay in control of their affairs and life. In human sciences, the calmness with a clear mind that directs some people's behavior might be attributed to a high level of emotional intelligence or rational thinking. Emotional intelligence is defined as the ability to understand others' emotions and motives and control our own emotions and express them in a way that helps us deal with any situation in a productive way. A deeper perspective of rational thinking that leads to a better emotional intelligence is presented by psychologists. They explain there are classes of behavior that are grouped in type 1 and type 2 mind activities. Imagine them as two bodies living in our brains, as this movie shows. Type 1, the red one, is the quick and intuitive one, responsible for fast thinking and emotional reactions that come automatically. While type 2 is the slow, controlled, and careful one, responsible for effortful mental activities. Notice how they react and interact in our brains in a situation like this. Although we put type 2 at a higher level, most of our activities are of type 1. They come automatically. Then type 2 articulates them.
The pleasure's all mine.
In this situation, type 2 is trying to suppress type 1 and wants to take control over the man's behavior. But the influence of type 1 cannot disappear, and this simply causes the failure of perfect rationality. And sometimes rational thinking collapses, as in this case.
Spice things up. I hope you're excited for the main course.
But is the more rational and less emotional we are, the healthier and stronger we become. People that show little to no emotions are said to have antisocial personality disorder. They are psychopath persons and not healthy ones according to psychologists. But Kevin Bottom, an Oxford research psychologist, argues that psychopaths are poised to perform well under pressure. Some of them, the intelligent positive ones, are just the sort of people society can count on in a crisis. So is James Bond one of them? They might have calm and assertive personalities, but such people can hardly be happy. So why would someone aim towards perfect rationality? Would it be to gain power? Would one be satisfied with having full control but no joy? Should happiness be compromised? Anyway, humans are diverse, and it is difficult to put them in absolute patterns, which puts a limitation to human sciences. But despite this diversity, I believe that success and power will come from the balanced thinking. And this is when your emotional intelligence allows for type 1 and type 2 thoughts to function properly.
I don't know.
We could go dancing.
I like the sound of that. Did you have anything else in mind?
But success and power should be coupled with happiness and satisfaction, which comes with the balance that suits you. Balance is a relative concept. It is achieved when your thoughts and emotions interact in harmony and result in the feeling of comfort. Religion has provided the path for this harmony. Religion beliefs have unified both emotions and reasoning into feelings that direct our relation with the world. Ancient religions helped humans understand the power of feeling and emotions that relate us to the universe. In Hindu and other ancient belief systems, there is a chart of energy centers in our bodies, called chakras. The lower chakra, or energy centers, are associated with fundamental emotions and needs. But these emotions are scattered and need to be focused or directed, and this is where the power of logic and thoughts come in. Isn't religious faith pure irrational thinking, or at least many people believe so? They also believe that it contradicts with any type of rational thinking. But this was not the case throughout our history. Ibn Rushd, Aristocrat, and Ibn Sina are all famous philosophers and scientists that tried to prove the existence of God through philosophy and rational thinking. The three of them have contributed to medicine, physics, and astronomy. They could only achieve that with a high level of logical thinking. These same scientists have contributed to theology. In other words, they are legends that gained their power through balanced emotional and logical thinking. It could be said that most religious traditions allow and even encourage some kind of rational examination of their beliefs. Generally, religions have called for a balance of emotions and logical thinking. Yet throughout human history, groups of people went radical in their spiritual practices and got detached from the real world. Such people lost their logic and their capability to contribute to human progress. The real danger that has been associated with religious beliefs is when a certain kind of authority immune themselves from rational critique and evaluation. In this case, religion will limit its followers to use their logical thinking. Followers should have pure faith in their masters, without questioning or researching a different truth. So are religious beliefs nowadays becoming immune from rational critique, and how can we bring back the logical emotional balance to them? Gaining power over your life is a relative concept. The 48 Laws of Power is a book that describes one's capability to repress emotions as the main fundamental to gain power, even if you have to sacrifice comfort from expressing your feelings. I don't agree with that. I support the belief that power and happiness result from achieving a balance between emotions and rational thinking. Psychology and religious systems support my opinion. Psychology does encourage improving our rational thinking through better managing our emotions, but acknowledges that perfect rationality cannot be reached. Human nature implies that we have emotions, and irrational thinking cannot be repressed. Religious studies also support that humans are made of two levels of thinking, logical and emotional. They are merged to create feelings that connect us to the universe and open the doors to what we can create. This is power.